In the quaint village of Eldritch Hollow, the arrival of fall was always accompanied by the crisp rustle of golden leaves and an unspoken whisper among the townsfolk about the dark history of the old Warwick mansion atop Gallows Hill. The mansion, abandoned for decades, was shrouded in tales that blurred the line between myth and reality. Eliza Crane, an inquisitive young journalist, recently returned to her familial roots in Eldritch Hollow, much to the chagrin of her mother, who had fled from the village years ago under mysterious circumstances. Compelled by a mix of nostalgia and an innate need for answers, Eliza decided to investigate the mansion after hearing locals speak of inexplicable phenomena since the eve of Halloween. Armed with little more than a notebook and an old camera, Eliza trekked up the serpentine path leading to the ominous house. The rusted gates shrieked as she pushed them open, an eerie echo billowing through the dead trees encircling the manor. The house stood as if frozen in time, the decrepit facade veiled by a thick mist that seemed to whisper secrets of its past. Within minutes of her exploration, Eliza's camera began picking up odd distortions and sounds skirted the fringes of the silence, a melange of hushed cries and whispers that crawled up her spine. Shaken but determined, she pressed further, each room unraveling more of the mansion's tormented history. The dilapidated grand hall with its chandelier swaying silently as if moved by an unseen hand, the library where books seemed to fall off the shelves by their own accord, and the portrait room where faces in the paintings looked a tad too lifelike. It was in the attic, amid layers of dust and cobwebs, that Eliza stumbled upon a diary belonging to Annabel Warwick, the last lady of the manor. Reading by the beam of her flashlight, Eliza learned of Annabel's grief for her lost love, a soldier who never returned from war, and her subsequent descent into madness. Rumors had it that, driven by her sorrow and enshrouded by the darkness of the manor, Annabel had ventured into the forbidden arts to summon her lover's spirit. The last entry was an ominous scripture that echoed a forewarning. As Eliza absorbed these revelations, a sudden coldness enveloped her, and shadows darted across the walls, forming grotesque shapes and faces that leered at her from the darkness. The whispers grew into a cacophony, urging her to flee. She snapped a final picture, a blurry image of what seemed like a woman in Victorian garb, standing at the window, staring back at her. Fleeing the mansion, the air behind her felt charged with a malevolent tension, as if the very atmosphere was trying to keep her within its grasp. Eliza made it back to the village, her mind reeling from the encounter. Developing her photographs later, every single one was normal, except for the final one, which revealed not only the figure of the woman, but also a faint outline of what appeared to be a soldier next to her, his face a mask of sorrow and yearning. Eliza published her story, her account interwoven with the history she had uncovered, leaving the villagers of Eldritch Hollow to confront the eerie manifestations of their past. Though skeptical at first, the tale soon took on a life of its own as more residents experienced similar encounters, the whispers in the night growing louder as if Annabel's spirit had awakened others. And though Eliza eventually left Eldritch Hollow, she carried the haunting memories of that night, a night when the veil between the past and the present had thinned, and the spirits of the Warwick mansion whispered their forgotten truths to anyone who dared listen.